Hey there, Mike Burgoyne with Mexico Real Estate Solutions, and doing something a little bit different today. For the last 2+ years, I've really only been posting our property walkthrough video tours, which, we've had a great response and people enjoy just walking through the property with me. And I never started out the idea to have this little YouTube channel. In fact, I took a walkthrough video tour for a particular client, and a friend of mine said, "Well, put it on YouTube. You don't have to make it public." So I did that, shared a few videos, and after a few tries, started making them public, which is why early days, the videos, the quality is not good, but maybe it's shot vertically. So that's why that was. Recently, I was asked to do a Q&A session with SekuraLaw. SekuraLaw is one of the top real estate legal teams here in the Riviera Maya, and I thought that it was great timing, good opportunity for me to share a little bit about who we are and what the company is all about, and who I am. It's a great little interview, and I've got SekuraLaw's contact information in the description below with, of course, Instagram, Facebook, and naturally their YouTube channel. Take a look, click follow, like, subscribe to them as well. And, really, again, an opportunity to see who we are. We're a growing small company and trying to keep up with the quality of service that people have come to expect with us over the last few years here. I've been selling real estate in the Riviera Maya for 8+ years now, out of Canada. But living here with the family full-time and loving life. So I appreciate you watching, subscribing. Check out this little interview. Hope you like it, and stay tuned. Subscribe, like, share, do all those things because they do make a difference, and enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the episode number 8 of SekuraLaw Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of SekuraLaw. I'm here with
Stephanie de la Millar
and Eduardo Borger.
I'm with a great guest right now. That he's a great guy. He's an amazing broker, Mike Burgoyne. How are you?
Good. Mike Burgoyne with Mexico Real Estate Solutions.
Awesome.
And thank you for the invitation to be here today.
Awesome. That's great. I think that you don't have any idea what we're gonna do here, but the idea is to be very relaxed, have a conversation. It's like the name of the podcast, experience. So maybe we have some questions to do it, but it's not like we're gonna do only the question. You can, if you want to speak in something, let us know.
It's why we bring coffee.
Go easy on me.
Yeah, no,
for sure.
It's gonna be
It's
easy.
not a test or anything.
I didn't study.
Let's start with one question and let's see how
Great.
that goes. How do you prepare as broker to help a home buyer?
Yeah, great question. There's, in this area, we don't have an MLS system, right? So
Exactly, yeah.
it takes a lot of work. The best way to help a client or individual buyer is to spend time with them on the phone. Find out why it is they want to be here.
Okay.
A lot of people come on vacation, they'll stay at an all-inclusive resort, and they'll fall in love with the Riviera Maya. They think, but they've never gotten off the resort.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They don't know the town, nothing. Yeah, totally agree with you.
That's it. We had a quick 30-minute first phone call with a client just yesterday, and we were 20 minutes into the phone call before we spoke anything about real estate.
Okay. So to know them, right?
Get to know them. Why do they think they want to be here? When they come down on vacation, what do they like to do? Do they like to snorkel, scuba dive? Do they know of the ruins of the history of the area? So really trying to
know about that? A little bit, but
a little bit.
Again, it's not a test.
Oh God.
So Tulum was created.
It's 800 some years old, but
Yeah. No, that's good.
So yeah, we have to really get to know them, and before we can help them or decide what to show them.
Okay. So, but you make some questions in that moment.
For
example, for a client that does snorkel, and they say, I love to do a snorkel. Maybe in my head, as an attorney and real estate attorney, I'm only thinking maybe the broker is gonna give them, I don't know, a beachfront or something house, but I don't know, could
Right.
be another things.
And that's just it. If somebody wants to purchase to have a family vacation home
Okay, got it.
or an income producing home,
Okay.
if they love to snorkel, we'll ask them, have you gone swimming with the turtles in Akumal?
Great, nice,
Right.
nice. Yeah,
And-
you're right, Akumal.
Yeah, and if they say, yeah, that was one of our favorite experiences, what else do you know of Akumal? Do you know of Tulum Country Club, for example, is part of Akumal.
Where is Tulum? Country Club?
Tulum Country Club is
Used to be-
Bahia
used to
Principe,
be- yeah. Got it.
right? So a lot of
Nice.
people hear Tulum Country Club and they think it's in Tulum,
Yeah, exactly.
It's marketing.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally marketing.
right? And it works. But if somebody wants to go swimming and snorkeling with the turtles, maybe we focus on showing them a couple of things in Akumal.
Okay.
The snorkeling and diving outside of Puerto Aventuras is also spectacular.
Okay. So you know all these areas.
Yeah, and that's again
Wow.
experience. When I moved here, of course, 8+ years ago,
Nice.
I didn't have that experience, right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
the more we do this, the better we get at it.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. I live here for more than 10 years, and you're telling me things that I didn't know, so that's good.
Yeah.
So
Big part of my job is knowing. So I have to go and do these experiences myself.
okay,
I have to
yeah.
hit the cenotes. I have to go see some ruins. I have to eventually get on a Mayan train and take that for a ride.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good.
But that's just begs the question. Based on what you mentioned earlier, do you think that the all inclusives hurts the business because of they keep all the tourism inside of the resort? You
No,
think?
not at all. I think the all-inclusive resorts actually do help the business because they get people to fall in love with something in the area.
Yeah.
And when I have someone on the phone or someone who came to our website and they're looking for more information, we always ask them, where do you like to stay when you're on vacation here? And if they tell me they love the all-inclusives, they stayed at this resort, that resort, and here, we think we want to buy a condo. Like that's fantastic. I love the area too. I love all these things that we're talking about. When you come back down to look at property, stay at a condo. Make sure that you can enjoy and you can put yourself in that environment before buying a condo or buying something that is in a vacation area where it's going to feel like a hotel sometimes with guests coming and going every day. Maybe it's not for them, right? Maybe that's not the lifestyle they envisioned. They just fell in love with the romance of the turquoise waters and white sands. So I tell them to stay in a condo, rent something similar to what you think you want to buy.
Of course.
Truly live it before you spend the money.
That's awesome.
That's a
But
great
the
advice.
thing is then the first step of getting that investment is getting people here. That's what the resort helps us, right?
Exactly.
Got it.
I think so.
Very nice point of view.
But it's not kind of risky for a agent, like, hey, enjoy. Of course, that's really good that you. I think that you are one of. I never heard that you would say, hey, enjoy first or be here and then you buy. It's not normal to say that, All the agents say, no, buy, but you are very aware of that. That's good, and you put your clients in a really good position.
Yeah, and the market here is different in that it's not like in the US and Canada where somebody wants to sell a property, they speak with their local realtor, they put it online, and because they have an MLS, anybody who's looking for a property like that is exposed to it and they can find it. Oftentimes a resale property here takes time to sell. We don't have an MLS,
No exposure.
no exposure. Unfortunately, a lot of realtors here don't want to share listings, share commissions. So they'll focus on only showing their buyers their own listings, which helps them, but it doesn't help their clients,
Of course.
right? So what I don't want is for someone to buy a property with us and then in 3 months say, it's not for me, can you sell it? Because it could take us 3 months, 9 months, a year to sell it. And if they're not happy, it's frustrating for us because they're calling us every day, how come you haven't sold it? How come you haven't sold it? And we want to make sure that they know what they're doing when they come in and make a purchase.
So you are looking with your company, you are looking to have a long-term relation with your clients, Not only to, hey, I'm gonna sell this, I got my commission, that's it. No, you are looking to have a really long-term relation. That's good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, the trouble is once you have so many people who have bought with you, when they come down, they all want to have dinner and drinks, so there's no time for work anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good problem.
No, but that's good to know. You sometimes have some ideas from the agent saying, hey, no, they are looking only for their pockets, But the way that you are explaining everything and saying everything is like you really care of your clients. So that's good.
Yeah, a lot of our business comes from referrals, and we want to keep it that way.
That's good.
Totally.
Amazing.
To
Best
give
kind
a
of
true advice, no?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the kind of lifestyle that you want, right? You just want to get like a glass of wine, you just drink and no stuff, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good way to roll. Yeah, my phone just keeps ringing. Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. If you want to go with another questions.
Sure. The next one is, could you share with us a funny story that happened to you during your experience as a broker?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want?
It seems like you have a lot of them. And you're digging.
We have a
in
lot
your
of
mind.
fun.
All right.
As a realtor, we have a box of keys, right? And we knock on doors to make sure no one's in the apartment before we walk in to show it with clients. And we speak with property managers before we go show properties, make sure it's not rented and things like that. And I've got some clients with me. I'm knocking on the door, no answer. So I turn the key, open the door, and at least it wasn't, risque or anything. But there was a couple sitting on the sofa in the living room, like, thank God they were clothed and not in the middle of something. But it could have been way more worse or interesting.
It depends on the
Right.
lifestyle that
That's
they
right.
want.
Yeah.
Wow.
But only that. I mean, otherwise we have fun. And I had a client who was she's fantastic lady, retired, worked hard her whole life, retiring young, and had vacationed in Playa del Carmen, stayed at some Airbnbs, and that's what she wanted for her retirement. She wanted to move to Playa, and we kept showing her different properties around Playa and communities, El Cielo, and different areas that fit her, smaller budget. And at the end of the day, I could see she wasn't excited, and I have something to show you, but it's not in Playa. Please trust me. Let's go for a drive. I want to show you something in Puerto Aventuras. And she didn't want to go, and her husband sort of talked her into we're here, we're with them. It's only 3:00. Let's go take a look. And they bought in Puerto Aventuras, and they absolutely love it. They're there all the time.
Because you have that feeling, right? That they are like, oh no, Playa, maybe not, but you know them, so that's the reason you say, hey, let's go to Puerto. It could be.
And that's the time we spend. I don't like to, when we go out with people, we pick them up at their resort or condo, and they're in the car with us for the day as we go around and look at all these properties. And that's almost more valuable than that first phone call we have, because we just listen and talk, and the more they share,
You can see the faces also.
exactly.
As soon as they enter to the unit. Oh wow!
The community. How far is the beach? All of that stuff.
That's good. That's
So
good. Wow.
yeah, just
Nice.
finding that real connection.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good connection because they depend on you 100% for that, right? The whole day, you are in charge.
Right.
So they can really trust you and they can really get to know you.
And I'm really glad that he, it convinced her to, okay, let's just go see this other thing with Mike. Let's go see. Otherwise, and I'm not so worried about the sale. She doesn't find the thing she's looking for. That was my goal, was to find her the thing she was looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, the wife is the one that makes the decision, right? So
Yeah,
he
9
plays
times
his
out of 10.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
the boss.
Yeah. I have one, and yes.
Yeah. Me too. I understand.
Remember that this is being recorded, so
Yeah, she knows.
keep it
She
that
knows.
way.
She knows. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So.
But at the end of the day, with your first experience, did you get to show the property or they were just sitting in the couch and, hey?
Yeah. They were surprised that we come in, and they said, "Oh, we didn't know." Of course, they knew, but yeah, we ended up going and showing the property. And
Nice.
Oh, good.
yeah,
It was a
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
nice
it
ending.
turned
A
out
little
okay.
bit awkward.
awkward at first, but it's all part of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But I knock loudly, more loudly now.
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, we are going inside.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
The next question you're gonna like.
Um, how did you prepare for your first meeting with a buyer or seller?
Yeah. Wow.
Are we talking about 8 years ago?
We can talk about 8 years ago, or we can talk about for every buyer. 8 years ago was a definite challenge, right? Just trying to learn from the other salespeople in the room and drawing off of their experience. First sale was in Cancun, and I won't do that again.
Why?
It's a lot of work, and it's not. I mean, we're so busy here in this market that there's people who focus specifically on Cancun, and I had to try to learn that market because that's what this buyer who came to us wanted. He wanted specifically something in Cancun, and our
Hotel
office
zone, right?
more close to
Bonampak.
Puerto Cancun, Bonampak.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's the hotspot for.
Oh, there's so
Cancun,
much
right?
construction there right now.
Yeah.
7-8 years ago, a lot less, but in Malacon Towers was fresh and new, and ultimately that's what we found for them. But to get to know that market, it was overwhelming for sure.
It's huge.
Ridiculous. I mean, then prices seemingly are very good for what you get, but there's so much inventory, and these towers are massive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous.
How many
And-
stories? Like 20 something,
Oh,
right?
Exactly, more than that. And so the first client I ever had was a real challenge that way. But it was an experience, right? Doing things the hard way.
Yes, tough first.
But then also getting better at what we do and filtering who we're working with. If someone very specific on Cancun, I'll find them someone who's specifically working on Cancun, right? You work with that expert. I'm not the expert there. I'm not the best one to help you. And that's probably what I should have done in the first place. Ultimately, I helped him, found him something, and it was pretty awesome property.
But that's something that I think you learn down the road. You
Right.
can know everything. So in order to do a good service to your client, you need to let them know, hey, I'm probably not the best option you have. So let me redirect you or guide you towards someone that will help you, definitely.
Exactly. And that's why we get better at what we do. The more we do it, right? The longer we're doing this thing, the better we are able to help our clients.
Totally.
And that's the reason you opened your new office.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
us about that. Tell us a little bit about why you took the decision finally to open your own office.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if I'd say that, but
Yeah, thank you.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. It's of course it's a big step and it's exciting, but I've managed a real estate office here for 3 or 4 years, managing a sales team, and I loved it. Back in Canada, I had also managed a ceramic tile import and distribution branch for 13, 14 years, and I loved growing a team around me and finding success for the business.
That's good.
And after selling here for as long as I had, it took me about 5 years of selling and working in the area to decide that that's what I wanted to do. Took a little time to get it to where it is, where I could open the space. But I look forward to helping other people succeed in this market and to do it well. Like you say, there's some people who are in it just for their commissions,
Yeah,
and that's
not the
that's
idea.
no, it doesn't help. It doesn't help the people buying,
Yeah.
right? Because ultimately they might buy something that's not the right fit for them. And I'm not saying we get it right 100% of the time, but we have a pretty good track record in that way. So the idea was to just grow a team of responsible salespeople, create a culture of just a fun environment and I want to make people I want to help people find sort of the same successes that I found.
That's good.
course.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's a really great philosophy.
Yeah,
You
thank
know,
you.
and as you as a leader with that philosophy, I'm sure that the name of the company,
Mexico Real Estate Solutions.
Mexican Real Estate Solutions,
And,
it's
and-
gonna be really successful.
Yeah, thank you. And it's the solutions, because anybody here can sell real estate, right? But the solutions most of our buyers coming from the U.S. and Canada, they don't know anybody here, so they don't know how to open a bank account. They don't have a legal team to work with. Of course, that's why I'm here, because we work well together. And all the little things. How do I find a dentist? How do I buy a car?
Yeah.
They lean on us a lot, and that's part
Yeah.
of the solutions, that we try and extend ourselves and offer to our buyers. We don't just give them the keys and say good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
good. That's good. That's the reason of the name.
that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good to know.
great.
That's
Yeah,
good to
thank
know.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's like assisting in the being in a new place totally, no? In a new country where they don't know
Exactly.
anything about, so you provide assistance in relocating maybe
Yeah, a little
in
bit.
the entire in their whole life
Yeah,
aspect.
and it's a process for everybody, right? I mean,
Yes.
I had a bit of a support team when we moved. Came into an office of 15 people, and primarily expats. So they would all help me learn how to do these things. So I didn't do it on my own. So I feel it's our responsibility to help people who trusted us to buy property, to lean on us a little bit to help with all the other things that make their lives easier as they transition here.
That is great.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good way to see it, because if I were a retired person from the US or from Canada, I would definitely search for somebody that has already done all that recon for me, right? In order to go with them, spend my money with them, invest, and then, like you said, the little things that could help me move around the city that's very different from my hometown.
For sure.
Language, law system, culture, everything.
Yeah, and to become part of a community too, right? Like, how do they like to spend their time? What do they do on a typical Friday evening? Try and help them find, their people,
Exactly.
who are they going to enjoy spending time with? Yeah.
To integrate in the community.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take them to, meet all these people, but I'll tell them, you go to these Facebook groups and, share some of your things that you like to do, and you'll find, like-minded people. And yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that.
And the good thing about Playa, and I don't know if that's also part of the difficulty of the Cancun market, is that we have a very pluricultural community here, that you can find a group for everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Like Asians, Americans, Canadians,
Italians.
Europeans. Yeah, like everyone has like their own spots at the
Yeah,
Fifth Avenue, right? You
for
see like
sure.
the Italian part
Yeah.
of the Fifth Avenue and so on, right?
Yeah, very cosmopolitan for sure. Yeah.
Do you like more Playa or Puerto Aventuras?
Great question.
Not like for the business, more
Yeah.
for you, like with your family. You enjoy stay more in Playa, walk in the Fifth Avenue, or walk around the dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins.
To be with the
Aventura.
dolphins suddenly if you
Dolphins.
want to.
Yeah, for raising our family, Puerto Aventuras has been
Yes.
fantastic. It's been amazing,
Okay.
and I know there's great gated communities and things like that throughout Playa as well that are very good for a lot of people and a lot of their families. It's just been a great fit for us. When I'm with clients, I'll go have a lunch on Fifth Avenue or on Constituyentes or wherever, and it's just a reminder of why my wife and I fell in love with Playa del Carmen.
Okay.
Our first trip was 2006
Wow.
on
Okay.
vacation, and we just fell in love with the area, so we kept coming back. And when I have lunch with a client or somebody, a friend in Playa, I'm like, yeah, this is a fun town. I like this town.
Definitely.
But raising the family for us, Porto has been a better fit.
When you decide to come to Playa, to live in Quintana Roo, Playa, Puerto Aventuras, wherever, how old was your kids?
Yeah, our boys were 5 and 7 years old when we moved. So,
My God.
but it was a perfect time
Yeah?
to learn
Why?
a language,
Okay.
to integrate, to if we
Their
had waited,
friends in Canada?
if we had waited until they were teenagers to move,
No
their
way.
friendships would have been so hard to part with.
Okay.
So that was part of our decision: was we either go now,
Or never.
or we shut up about it until they're out of school.
Okay.
Of course.
So we said, let's go. quick, let's go.
So you have support from your wife, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
It was kind of both idea, no?
Yeah, it was mutual. We were on a flight coming back from a holiday in Playa in February, I think, going back to 3 more months of snow on the ground and cold. Like, maybe we should just consider this.
That's what hits you, right?
This
Maybe
is a
just
way-
consider
A
moving.
good switch, yeah.
And
Came from where?
we moved from Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah,
One of the
cold.
snowiest ones,
Yeah,
right?
Not too
the
much cold, I think. Oh my god.
Yeah.
northernmost city, I think.
I think I could imagine your breaking point, like scratching the eyes of your car,
Yeah, exactly.
like saying, nah.
Screw this.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're out.
exactly.
Yeah, we're out. Yeah.
I can be swimming in the beach, and
And life is about choices, right?
Totally.
So people want to complain about that all the time and stay and deal with it. That's fine, but you choose to do that. We made a choice.
Totally.
We made a choice to do something different.
Yeah, and I think the Puerto Aventuras was the perfect spot for you guys because my experience as a local, which I've been here all my life, Puerto Aventuras hits different because yes, it's part of Playa del Carmen, but that really tight-knit community where you have everything. Every little kids go to the golf course. They drive
Skate
around,
park,
yeah,
on the
there's
golf carts.
everything, and you get really good relationships there, and also because you have kids from all over the world there.
Right.
So I think that was good for your kids because they felt like home,
Right.
but in a really nice sunny place.
Yeah, and their friends are from all over the world, So it's really cool in that way. And not right away, but after a couple of years, they could be at a friend's place watching a movie until 10 o'clock on a Friday and ride their bikes home, and we weren't worried,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Like where else in the world can you do that?
Yeah.
So that was that's been a good.
And in
good for us.
Mexico, believe it or not.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
No,
Turn the news off. Stop watching the news.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so they enjoy it be here. They speak Spanish already?
Yeah, fluent
More
like they
better
were-
than you?
Oh my god,
That's good.
much better than me. Like they were born here.
Yeah, that's impressive, right?
Yeah, so proud.
Yeah, that's
so proud.
amazing. And I heard something. They are really into tennis.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they like it.
Yeah, they love it. Yeah.
Awesome.
3 hours every day they're training now. So.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, I'm their chauffeur.
That moment as a
Yeah.
parent,
That's right.
as a father, you have to do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, fun. A lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So you decided to come here. Why start in real estate?
I had a good friend of mine had moved 10 years before we had.
Okay.
He moved from Winnipeg. He was a childhood friend, Winnipeg in Canada.
I know him.
Yeah, Jason. You know
awesome.
Jason. Yeah. And he had been bugging me ever since he had moved.
For sure.
And the timing was never right until it just was, right?
Yeah.
Like he would, when are you moving? When are you moving? And I was happy in what I was doing and where I was doing it. And then when the timing was right for me, I of course reached out to him and all right, how do I do this? And
But
here I am.
it was good. I think you were with a really good person to do that. So
Yeah, he helped me find a good fit for me to come down and get to
exactly.
work. I came down a few times, met a couple of companies, and landed on one, and went to work with him for a few years, and then made a change. I went to sell, in fact, for Jason for a couple of years before, eventually out on my own.
that's
Doing
good.
our
That's
own
good.
thing.
You are evolving all through
Right.
the time.
That's right.
That's important
Yeah.
because you cannot stay in the same place. You
No.
have to evolve all
That's
the
right.
time.
Yeah, can't sit
Grow.
still. That's
Yeah.
right.
Grow, exactly.
And that takes us to the next question. What have been the biggest challenges you have faced as a real
Right.
estate agent?
Biggest challenges, man. I'd say it's kind of twofold in that the area has grown so much that the prices have also changed a lot, right? And I tell a lot of buyers when they say, "Oh my God, it's so expensive for Mexico." I'm like, well, Mexico's a big country, like Canada, like the U.S. The prices in New York are different than the prices in Wisconsin.
Totally.
Definitely.
Right. So to say that's very expensive for Mexico is very short-sighted. So people thinking that they can buy a luxury home for $200,000 is not the case. So
This
that's
is not Texas.
right. Exactly. You're in the Caribbean, man. Like, come on.
Beachfront for
Right.
200,000.
Right. I often, this is not your father's Mexico. This is not my father's Mexico. This is,
Yes.
advanced and, a very desirable place to be. So, that's a challenge, but also challenge oftentimes in a transaction where a seller doesn't have all their documents in order.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And of course, that's when I have a lot of phone calls with you guys. Right, we're on the phone, WhatsApp, and trying to solve
figure out,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's more like legal aspect challenge. But
But the anxiety and
Yeah.
energy it brings to me, which I try to absorb instead of passing it on to the buyer or seller in a deal, that
yeah, because you already made all the work.
we've
Yeah.
made the offer, and now we're in this stage of the game, and if I'm not representing the seller, it's the seller's agent's job to understand the background, the history of the property being sold. And before you list a property, you should know all the documents are in order, and not everybody does that.
Something that you do. I have to say that. I have to be very clear on that. And you don't have too many listings right now. You have listings because you are opening your company. But something that I'm really aware of that is that you always request that information before you list.
Yeah.
You get that information for the property, so that's also good.
Of course, I don't want to market a property for 3 months or 5 months and then finally have an offer come in only to have it fall apart because the seller didn't have their documents in order or now has a restrictive, capital gains tax to pay. It messes things up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not an everyday challenge, but unfortunately too often challenge. And it's not every week, it's not every month, but a couple times a year that comes up.
Yes,
Definitely.
but it's definitely different when you are prepared than when you are not.
For sure, which is why, as Luis says, I bother him often, like, hey, can you check on, on this,
Never bother. Never bother. It's always a pleasure.
Right. But I know that. But just to make sure everything is in order before we go to marketing. Yeah.
Definitely. And towards opening a new business, I know that for a fact that's something very difficult, especially in our culture, where for somebody to have an idea and make it a fact, you have to go through a lot of stuff, starting from the government, from everything.
Yeah.
That's been a challenge for you since you come from a different background.
For sure, it's been a bit of a challenge, but luckily I've got a network of people around me that have, their networks and connections that make it relatively painless,
Numb.
to have, your team here who's helped me find someone regarding the licenses and this and that, who can stand in line and deal with all the forms and, all the things that need to get done along the way while I can continue working is a huge benefit for me. And knowing things are getting done the right way instead of me back and forth spending, days trying to get these things done. Time is money.
Definitely.
Yes, time
Right.
is essence.
Yeah. So, having grown that network around me has really helped, get these things done.
And you get that through
You guys
the years,
especially.
right?
Yeah, through the years' experience, and through offices like yours, and I have a great accountant, introduced to me, through your office, through Luis, and they too are helpful with other things. And now, because of that introduction, they're gaining more clients through me. My buyers need, accounting,
Accountants.
and they need this and they need that. So, that's how that works.
Yeah. That's for
That's
everyone.
important with the experience, the time that you've been here. All of that is adding. Everything is really good, and it's amazing that in 8 years what you do here and the experience that you get is amazing. So I don't know how to say. Normally the one that is really good to make the close of the podcast is Eduardo. It's something that I don't know how it come, but really he has a really good point. And it's amazing that you came here. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have something to say to Mike.
No, I just want to say that he's really professional in what he does.
Right.
And he's not just to sell properties, as he already explained. He's offering a whole experience assisting people. So
Yeah, thank you.
I admire that.
Thank you, and thank you guys for having me. And I know that, you know, part of this is, you know, for educating people in that regard. And you know, Facebook and other avenues offer a lot of advice and suggestion and things like that. But there's a lot of people out there misinforming, you know, uneducated, well-intended often, but it's still best to have professionals like you guys in your corner. So, yeah.
Definitely. And in order to wrap this up, we would like to ask you the last question. And what is the most important advice you offer your clients before buying or selling their property?
For
Just as a close-up.
your most important advice.
Yeah, I mean, just that work with professionals. I mean, number one.
Okay.
Number one. That's all the time.
Definitely. I mean, we're in an area that's fastly growing, like so fast. And as you mentioned, we don't have an MLS yet. We're working towards
coming.
that. But we want to make sure that everybody that wants to invest here works with a professional. That's the most important part, because you're securing your investment.
That's it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And buying in a foreign country for most people, you know, it's intimidating. So work with professionals who can help that. Facebook's not, you know, the right resource for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, as good as it is, it's not that.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mike.
Pleasure to be
Amazing.
here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.